Men are supposed to, traditionally, you lot are supposed to worship the ground we walk on. This is the problem in society. Traditionally, you are meant to worship the ground we walk on. You understand? We're meant to be here, you're meant to be there. That's why it's different.
At ease, brothers. I made a video a few days ago titled Why Good Women Aren't Chosen, right? And I'll be honest, I got a lot of feedback from the sisters on that video. But what it did for me was really, just shed more light on something that I already knew. And I'll tell you this, brothers. You are being robbed and you don't even know it. But this is the thing. Sisters, a lot of y'all are robbing your men and you don't even know it. I'm starting to see that this is one of the many disconnects, right? Let me state my position first. Because I want y'all to know how, this is my position. I'm not some red pill guy on here saying all women are this or men leave women alone, or I'm not in all that. My position is that I want to see people coming together. I want to see men and women coming together and building happy lives and healthy, wealthy futures. That's my position. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here saying, brothers, you are getting robbed, and sisters, you are robbing your men and you don't even know it. This is one of the many disconnects. And the thing is, it's not even about who's to blame. It's not a pointing the finger thing, because we can point the fingers both ways. A lot of y'all's mamas, sisters, taught y'all this. To go be so independent, to go get the degrees, to go get the house, to go get the land, to go get all this stuff. And I get it. But they didn't tell you how to go and get and keep a man. So a lot of y'all are looking around now saying, well, why aren't men trying to come to get me? Good sisters. A lot of y'all's pops, brothers. A lot of y'all's punk ass pops. All y'all did was see him walk around the house and cater to your mom and pour his energy down a hole, wanting nothing in return. So now you're calling that your normal. Now your life is in a deficit. Now your money can't get right. Your energy is drained. You're aging twice as fast as you should. Your life is miserable. But you got a happy wife, happy life at home. And you don't understand it's all about an energetic deficit. Again, I'm starting to see again one of the many disconnects that's really standing out. And again, it's not to blame, man. It's just about having an understanding of how it works, right? It's kind of like this. It's kind of like a lot of y'all brothers that go and use these cheap soaps. You'll get these 97-cent soaps. You go get these soaps made in Ireland and everywhere else. And you're putting it on your face, man, and it's doing nothing but stripping from you, right? Okay, yeah, it's taking the dirt and stuff out, man, but it's stripping. That's why come summertime, you're looking like the Walking Dead. That's why your face is all ashy and bruised up, because you're using products that are taking something out but putting nothing in. That's why I swapped to Tiege Hanley, right? Tiege is putting retinol in my skin, B3 in my skin, and many other products. That's why your boy Soul's skin is glowing. That's why I'm glad to partner with Tiege Hanley on today's video. Believe me, man, Tiege Hanley is the truth. You've heard me talk about them before, and you're going to be hearing me talk about them for a long time, because I know the positive impact they've had on my life. Seriously, I don't think some of you brothers believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve confidence in all areas of your life. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skincare uncomplicated. They provide you with all the products that you need and nothing you don't. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer. Oh, and to make it simple for guys like us, they provide this instruction card in every box that tells you how and when to use each product. It definitely comes in clutch. Skincare wasn't something I always took seriously, brothers, but now I wish I would have sooner. But you don't have to take my word for it, brothers. There are over 5,000 5-star reviews from customers around the globe. In addition to amazing skin, Members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off of retail price, access to exclusive monthly deals, the ability to pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description box and you'll get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Click that link and get started today. Ladies, I want you to ask yourself this question. What is it that I want from my man? And to be honest, there are no wrong answers. Like if you want a man that take you on several trips a year, if you want a man that gives you a few bands per month in allowance, if you want a man that takes you to all these fancy restaurants, I know a lot of y'all sisters are like, you know what, I don't want to go to a Cheesecake Factory. If you want your man to go take you to Ruth Chris and True Lux and Ocean Prime and all these other, if that's what you want, that's cool. What do you want from your man? I know you want your man to be a protector and a provider. In other words, if you find yourself stranded on the side of the road with a flat tire, you want to be able to call your man 24 hours a day, right? If you find yourself having beef on the streets, you want to be able to call your man 24 hours a day. If somebody is breaking in the house and all these other scenarios, you want your man to be on deck 24 hours a day. Am I right? But the question is this: what are you willing to give for that? What are you willing to give for that? Because you got to understand, a lot of women think this way and there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of women aren't saying, okay, what am I willing to give in exchange for that? A lot of women think that just because they cute, just because they thick, just because they hair did, that's the only box that needs to be checked. And a lot of these cute, sexy, hot women are like, same thing I've been saying, why aren't men checking for me? You have to understand, you're putting men at an energetic deficit. Yeah, you cute, but you screwing my life up now. Let me say it like this. Just to let you women on the inside of a man's mind. Just so y'all sisters know how men operate and think when it comes to women. You got to understand, when a man is getting up at 0 dark 30, going to work, going to shovel coal, going to sit in that corner office, going to do whatever he's doing, and he's coming back at 7 o'clock at night. You have to understand that from the time he wakes up and the time he goes to sleep, really 24 hours a day, his whole energy is I'm gonna say it like this: making you happy, making your life easier is really an underlying thought at all times in a man's life. It has to be. So in other words, when we're out grinding, when we're out building, when we're out whooping life's ass, an underlying thought is, how can I make my woman's life better? How can I take her on those trips? How can I put her in position to walk away from her job? How can I put her in a new vehicle? How can I upgrade her ring? Like, you gotta understand that by default, a man out grinding by default is to pour back into his woman. So it's like 24 hours a day we're pouring back. You gotta understand this. Kind of like the scenario I said a second ago. 24 hours a day we're on deck for our women. Meaning if she calls at any point in time of the day, I don't care what I'm doing, I need to make sure she's good. That means that at all times I'm pouring into a woman. Do you understand how quick a man can go into deficit if he's not getting that same energy back? Just because you cute and fine, you think it's all to the good? And I'm talking about real brothers. I'm not talking about brothers that are I'm not talking about the men that are playing PS5 all day while you're at work, waiting on you to come home and cook, and they ain't doing nothing, no job, no life, no career, no goals. No, I'm not talking about them brothers. I'm talking about solid men, the men that are watching this channel, of course. You have to understand how we move. We're pouring energy into you nonstop. You have to understand that when we're not getting that energy back, we're at a deficit. So when a lot of y'all sisters are saying, hey, why am I not getting chosen? Or why is this man leaving me? What is he talking about? His energy is off. He's at a deficit. You aren't pouring in. It makes sense now, man, when I think about Like when I think about when I was growing up, man, I used to go spend time in my grandmother's house. And I can remember, man, I remember the bedroom all the kids used to stay in was like right by the kitchen. And when I say right by, I mean like, I ain't talking about, a large home. I'm talking about a small home where you could pretty much, reach out and touch the, right there. I can remember my grandmother getting up early in the morning, every morning. My grandfather would get up before the sun was up, and my grandmother would beat him up, man. I would hear her in there in the kitchen cooking, making coffee. And it wasn't like today, you'll go put a little cup in a curry. She was in there boiling water and pots and pans. It was all kind of activity going on just to make coffee. Make him a little breakfast, scramble a few eggs. And she would take care of him, man, and he would go to work. And then she would get back into bed and then wake up, do it again when everybody else was waking up. This was the norm. And I can remember seeing my mom do the same thing. I can remember, man, my pops used to go to work 0 dark 30, 2, 3 in the morning, man. My moms would get up in the morning, man. I would hear in there making this lunch box, kissing them on the way out the door. My pops was a preacher, man, so I can remember hearing my mom up late night typing, doing this stuff, just going the extra mile. And I understand something that women knew back then that a lot of women just don't understand now. And it's about that giving back ratio. It's about that giving back of energy. And I can only assume that since my sister saw the same thing in my grandmother, saw the same thing in my mother, I can only assume my sister is doing the same thing. But I can tell there are a lot of women that still don't understand it. A lot of women think that just because they're female, just because they're cute, just because they're nice, that's enough to equal out the give and take. And it's not about a woman bringing a bag to the table. Like when a man asks what a woman brings to the table, this is really what he's asking. Now, I can't stand that question because I don't believe that a man or a woman should ask what you bring to the table. I'm all about action. I'm never going to ask that. I'm going to sit back and watch. So, but that's what men are really, really saying when they say, hey, what do you bring to the table? They're saying, hey, you know what? How can you, I understand what you want from me. I understand you want me on deck 24 hours a day to make sure you're good. What are you going to give me back in return to make sure I'm not going in a deficit? That's what men are really asking. That's what men are asking. And the thing is this, sisters. I'm talking to the sisters now. Again, I've said this 50,000 times. To separate yourself from the pack, to ensure that you always have a man, to ensure that the man you get is never going to leave. I'm going to say that again, man. I need y'all to hear what I'm saying. Ladies, to ensure that you always have a man looking for you, to ensure that once you get that man, you lock that man down, to ensure he's never going anywhere. All you have to do is be over the top for that man. All you have to do is be over the top for him. This is biblical. When you talk about this Proverbs 31 woman that every woman claims she is, it says this woman does all these things. It says this woman is the first one up in the morning. First one. And I think about my grandmother. I think about my mom. First one up in the morning. When that man alarm goes off in the morning, you need to be like, babe, what can I do for you? How can I move? How can I make your life better? Like, you know what I want from you at any point during the day. If I have any static, any beef, any problems, any situation, any scenarios, I need you to be there. At any point in life, until death do us part, I need you to fill that spot. What can I do for you? How can I balance this out? And the thing is this, it trips me out, man, when a woman sees a man's daily patterns. You see how he moves. You see what he does in the morning. You see what he does at night. You see his needs throughout the day. And I say it all the time. You don't insert yourself into his life. You don't insert yourself into his purpose. You don't insert yourself into making his life a lot better. It's simple. The thing is this. A lot of women just don't understand how simple it is. They don't understand how simple it is. Like I said the other day, man, as long as a woman is showing support, as long as a woman is inserting herself inside a man's world, she ain't got to worry about nothing. Because now all men ask for is peace. But you gotta understand, if you're not offering that peace, you're actually robbing that man of that. Brothers, don't forget about the amazing deal at Tiege Hanley. Click that link and get started today.